Hi everyone, my name is Emma Blaser and I'm sister to two-time childhood cancer survivor Ava. And today I'm going to be helping interview some of the CureFest participants prior to the CureFest weekend. So today we're here with Sandeep Kolte from the Neev Kolte and Brave Ronil Foundation. And we're going to be learning a little bit more about him and his involvement with CureFest.
Thank you so much, Emma, for having me over. It's CureFest has always been very close to my heart, so thank you.
Great, we're so glad to have you. Would you first like to tell us a little bit about your story and how you got involved in coming to CureFest?
Absolutely. So my son Neev, he was diagnosed with a disease called DIPG, and he was diagnosed in 2020. He passed away in 2021. It was a 15-month fight, and after the fight, we were shattered. We didn't really want to do um, anything per se, whether it's talking to friends, going out. That loss is still, I mean, it's still very painful. But one of the things that came about is a conference in Washington D.C. and my wife didn't wanted to go there, but she didn't want to go alone. So I traveled with her, and I remember that a few times during that period from when we lost Neve to traveling to this conference, she had mentioned that she wanted to start a nonprofit. And I already have one nonprofit that I've been running for 17 years for education. So I wasn't really thrilled with the idea because I was in a very negative zone and I was like, I'm done with the world. I don't want to do anything anymore. But then when we went to DC, and it was a brain tumor conference, and there was nothing in it for me because it was all above my pay grade. um, I remember that the next day of the conference ended in a show where kids come together and perform, and I had never seen something like that before. And she said, well, these are all the kids who have cancer or are fighting cancer, or their friends or family. Um, and I remember sitting in that, and that's when I got to see the kids perform, and especially Emma, your sister, I think Ava, and Elani Myers, those two girls I remember distinctly. They came and performed, and it was so elegant looking at them, and knowing that they have been fighting. And then on the way back from DC, I kept thinking about them, and I was like, if these kids can put together a fight so bravely, and they are still going about, putting their best foot forward. I know I lost my son, but how can I not fight? How do I give up? Why am I giving up? So that really resonated with me. I came back. I still remember September 22nd, 2022. Came back, and then I told my wife we are filing, and I went ahead the same day. I filed for the organization, and now we are 2 years running, and we are supporting cancer research. We are supporting advocacy efforts, and we are also in patient support. So thanks to Eva and Elani and CureFest, so CureFest is really close to my heart. Definitely, kids have inspired me more than anything else.
That's amazing. I'm so glad to hear that you're so inspired by seeing the CureFest event and especially close to home, meaning that uh, considering that you were very inspired by my sister, so I appreciate that. It seems like you've been able to do so much by starting your foundation. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about what the most challenging part of your advocacy work is with your foundation?
The most challenging part is getting people to understand why pediatric supporting pediatric cancers is important, because they just think, and I was in the same boat um, when we had not started our journey. So before the diagnosis, I never really cared about cancer in general. I don't remember going to an event or supporting cancer in any way, sending donations. But all of that changed when the cancer hit me, and that's pretty much the story everywhere. So I don't want people to wait till it hits you or your loved ones. um and advocacy, in that sense, advocacy is always at government level or at corporates, anywhere you can bring people together. And again, with cancer, pediatric cancer, it always takes a step back rather than forward when it comes to generating funds or bringing new trials or drug. And that's the most challenging part, in my opinion, to get the lawmakers together to make an impact and bring more awareness, bring more funding to cancer.
Absolutely, I agree. Even from my experience, I've noticed that getting the people that you need to listen to understand that childhood cancer is unique and that it is different from cancer in adults is one of the biggest parts of the battle. So we really appreciate the work that you're doing to try to change that. And then the last thing I was going to ask you was it seems that your family was very impacted by going to CureFest in a positive way. So I wanted to hear from you if a family is kind of on the fence about going to CureFest, what is something that you would say to them?
I would say that the the resilience and the kindness that you see at CureFest, it rubs on you. And I recently came across a family that is supporting our effort in advocacy space, especially with the proclamations sending to the cities and getting them to say September is a childhood cancer month. So the this particular family, when I told them that what our kids are doing, and I talked about the climb the hill event that you guys have, and how the kids go to the event and then they are prepared, they know what bills are coming or what laws are coming, and they will go and talk to the senators or maybe the congressmen or health aides. But they are front and center getting information about how the cancer affects them and how we can change that scenario. And kids have a bigger voice than anyone else. So from that sense, when I told my son's story, Neve's story, and then his older brother Ryan, how he is trying to make that change, and last 2 years he's been going, and this would be the third year, they definitely see it worth. And somebody just said that we want to go. And one of the things that I really find inspiring at CureFest was, or not, I shouldn't say inspiring, but when I went there first time, and there was a shoe memorial that was done, and then there was an event at the end of the night where everybody says their kid's name. That is so powerful, and that is so um, heartwarming, touching the heart, in so many ways. And I remember last year I took my son there to the shoe memorial, and we had done it indoors. It was just we I could see his emotions coming through, and he doesn't talk a lot, doesn't express a lot. So it was very positive. He made a lot of friends. So to any families which are considering, definitely, I think the easiest way to teach your kid kindness and responsibility, it comes from pure faith, hands down. And I have three families that are already, they have no cancer in their family, but they are coming to support us. So the more kids get involved at this stage of their life, I think there are better chances that they will become better human beings.
I definitely agree with that. And I'm so excited that you're spreading the word and bringing more families with you this year. All right. And then, Sandeep, could you also tell us a little bit about your foundation and what you guys do?
Sure, absolutely. So we started this foundation called Neev Kolte and Brave Ronil Foundation. Neev is obviously my son. Um, Ronil here, he is his mom is a friend of mine, Manisha Mehta. So Manisha and Milan, they lost Ronil to DIPG in 2018. He he's right here in he was right here in Bay Area, and during our journey, Manisha helped me a lot. And as I said earlier in the interview, when we were talking about creating the foundation, right after I started the foundation, a couple of weeks later, I remember meeting Milan and Manisha, and I told them that this is what I'm doing, and they were really excited, and they were like, "Can we join?" And I was like, "Sure." And Ronil is uh, one of the things that I got to know from them is in DIPG, Ronil had a wild type tumor. So when it came to creating the cell lines, the labs did not have any tumor tissue. So Ronnie's is the first one that they donated to Dr. Michelle Monge's lab in Stanford, and that tissue helped them identify, some of the tumors that were or at least how to start go about the treatments. Coming back to the foundation, we are in three spaces. We are in advocacy, research, and patient support. So on the advocacy side, we basically get support at the local level, at the city level, then at the state and federal level. We are trying to get more awareness and more bills to be passed or resolutions to be passed to bring childhood cancer front and center. The research wing, what we are doing there is my wife, Misha Mehta. She is a researcher herself. She's a scientist. So she actually brings a lot of her experience and help to get patients and doctors come to a table and make sure that the information flows through easily, and if the medical teams or if there are industry partners who have some resources, she makes sure that those are shared. And on top of that, we have fundraising gala every year. There's one coming this year in November 17th. So she makes sure that um, these ideas are supported by our organization. So we fund the research. So far, we've funded three clinical trials in Stanford, in UCSF, and in CHOP, Children's Hospital, Philadelphia. Going beyond that, we are also into family support. So we advocate, we speak with the patient directly. I have a group where we talk about ideas, give some advice, or tell them which medical teams to go and see where are the resources available. I also have a software platform where people can come, patients can come, and they can put in their information, and they will be connected with organizations that have those resources available for them. So overall, I think the organization is still in nascent stage, and we are trying to make a change. And the only reason we are doing that is because there were other families that were doing it for us when we were in fight, and we want to pay that forward. And I think our main focus is research, because that's how you're going to find the cure for DIPG. So we are definitely focused on that. um, and for more information, you can go to our website. It's neevronil.org. So neevronil.org. But yeah, thank you so much for asking that.
Of course. Yeah, we're so proud and happy to see all the work that you guys are doing. It sounds like some amazing changes are being made, and you guys are working for such a better future. And we're very excited to be hopefully seeing some strides in the area of DIPG treatments. So, with that, thank you so much for joining us today, telling us a little bit more about your experience with CureFest. And we hope to see all the rest of you guys there. To register for the events or for more information, be sure to visit curefestusa.org.